Hello. How we doing? How is everybody doing? Um, Let me just check YouTube's. YouTube's is good. Cool. Hello Ish. How you doing? How's things? Um, Hello Harry. How's you? Hello Wes TI. How you doing? How's things? Things not bad? Nice. I'm absolutely roasting. I'm on time this week. You are. Congratulations. Alright, I'm gonna move my face slightly that way. There we go. It's better. Hot. Yes. I have an ice pack for a reason. Hope you cooled down a bit. Not really. I mean, kinda. I've got a fan over there, but I turned it off for you lovely people. So currently got my feet in some ice water as well. Um. Ba 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 ba. Mohammed, what do you think about the Lenovo Li 340 laptop? So actually, I don't know, because I don't have any hands-on experience with basically any modern Lenovo laptop, so I can't really tell you. What's the spec on it? Starman, only family-friendly content. Wes, I'm in the, let's say, Nottingham area, which was 36 degrees Celsius today outside, which I went for a walk in because I'm clearly a lunatic. Let's just say very, very sweaty. Hot in Brighton, mate. Um, I can only imagine. What's it at with you? Hello, Endor. How you doing? Crikey, it's warm. Ah well, started now. I bought a Crucial MX500 1 TB for £80. I thought that was a good deal. Yes, that's a really impressive deal. MX500 is SATA, right? Like 2.5 inch, if I remember rightly. Or did you get the M.2 one? Either way, I'm pretty sure it's still SATA, so it's going to be relatively slow, but yeah, it's still a good drive nonetheless. Yeah, but yeah, that's a very good price for a nice large capacity drive. I think I think there are a few options that are close to that, from a slightly faster perspective, but if it's, as you say, just for game storage, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm just gonna post a link to the stream on Discord real quick because I forgot about that. And also on Twitter. Sweet. Mohammed, what's the spec on that laptop? Because as I said, I don't have experience with Lenovo laptops, so I can't really tell you. What's news this week then? Well, the graphics cards that are in that PC, I have just finished benchmarking today. I don't know why I decided that the hottest day in UK's history would be the best day to sit inside benchmarking graphics cards. But I did, because clearly I'm that kind of stupid. So I just finished benchmarking those, and those are the RTX Super cards, or at least the 2060 and 2070. I've got a 2080 coming next week, but I want to get this video out relatively soon, and so that's gonna go out before I get the other card. Bessie Swallows on a shower didn't help, came out sweating. I know, right? You need to self-water cool. Mate, I've got a bucket of ice water on my feet, already on it. Ninth gen and 1650, 16 gigs of RAM and SSD. So that sounds a lot like the Acer Nitro 5 that I am testing right now. It's probably the same spec. That laptop is pretty impressive. The only problem that I have with it is that they've jacked the price up from the last generation. So instead of being about £800, like £1,000. And for that kind of money, I think you could get a decent GTX 1060 laptop, at least currently anyway. So I don't know. Also, as I said, I don't have any experience with that with Lenovo laptops, so I can't tell you anything about the build quality, the keyboard or trackpad, the screen or the thermal performance. So I'm afraid you're just gonna have to stick to checking reviews on that one, I'm afraid. Hello there, slight stutter, but Vodafone being Vodafone, nice. Why are you watching on 4G? um, Actually, for those of you who are here, I'd be very interested to know what price is a budget headset, like a budget gaming headset, like these are. I don't have any others in arm's reach, but what sort of price is a budget headset for you? 50, 30 to 50? Okay, fair play. 75-ish? Nice highball. Razer had a £50 gaming headset. That would be considered like a budget option, right? Mac TX coming in with $100? Okay, fair play. Yeah. Alright. So here's the other question that I would pose to you. Corsair have their HS35, which is about £40, so it's about £10 less than a detachable microphone. Is a detachable microphone something that would make you use the headset as like out and about over ears, like for getting the bus or the train to work or whatever, or would you? Or is the detachable microphone something that you just wouldn't really use other than maybe traveling? Obviously, we're assuming that you're actually interested in buying a budget gaming headset in the first place. Can't wait for July 2025. Live stream will be on my birthday, one day off this year. Nice. Don't use them out of the man cave. Fair play. I have seen quite a lot of people with the Sorry, I just saw that comment. I have seen quite a lot of people with over-ear headphones on, including gaming-style headphones, but without the microphone. I got a pair of just headphones because I have a proper mic setup. Fair play. I don't know if budget headphones is in my vocabulary, considering how much I spend on audio gear. Nice, that's understandable. And also the comment, I'm sure the Razer One is detachable, not intentionally, it will just fall off. Lol. It's funny, on my Razer Blade video, I have two kinds of comments. One type of comment is like absolute fanboying over Razer. Someone literally said, hating on popular things doesn't mean you have an interesting personality, as if my whole shtick on this channel is just hating on popular things. And I feel like I made it pretty clear that most of the things were just my like personal preference and opinion, and and some of the things were actually objectively bad. But either way, the other type of comment is people saying, I bought this and it literally caught on fire. And there's actually quite a lot of those people. So yeah. In fairness, my Orb Weaver stealth is still going strong. Fair play. I didn't know they did a stealth. Or is that the no, the Orb Weaver is the little hand thing, right? That I have like over 1 million views on my video. Oops. I don't use headphones. I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought to buy a headset to use for headphones outside. Fair play. Because yeah, so for me, the on the what do you call it, headset side of things, Razer's one, for me personally, has a lot of clamping pressure and so is not overly comfortable. Whereas the Corsair one is a fabric ear cup instead of faux leather, which, considering I rock Void Pros with fabric ear cups because that is my personal preference, I generally speaking, like, I prefer that, and so my personal preference is to prefer the Corsair one because there's slightly less clamping pressure. It didn't hurt my head after 5 minutes of use, and was generally more comfortable. Whereas the Razer one is £10 more. In terms of audio quality, they're basically the same thing. Mic quality was basically the same thing, although really quite impressive for how cheap the headsets are. And then the only real differences are that the Razer one doesn't have a detachable microphone, but the Razer one comes with their semi-exclusive 7.1 surround software. So I suppose that's another question. If you do have headphones, do you use 7.1 like digital 7.1 surround, like, for gaming? Because personally, all of the headphones that I play with and use have that feature built in, but I never turn it on. Definitely better to have fabric or even use on-ear headphones in the heat you're getting in the UK right now. Yes, definitely. Yeah, they make me sweat, like leather or leatherette ones make me sweat just right around my ears, and it's really, like, gross and uncomfortable. Whereas at least with those, while they do make me sweat, it's not as, like, nasty and gross to feel. So again, personal preference. Chris was saying that he doesn't like fabric that much. Fair play. But yeah, do you, like, if you have headphones, do you use some, like, the digital 7.1 surround software or not? Love my Sony Gold wireless PS4 headphones. Nice. Are they on ears or over ears? Because I know Sony do make a fair number of headphones, or headsets. Never really thought of gaming with my headphones. I have computer speakers. Fair play. Is it a full? I'm guessing by the fact that you spend a lot on audio, is it a full, like, 7.1 surround setup or not? Nice one, Chris. Wes, I got the Arctis 5 and tried it. Was good on Rocket League, but another reviewer said when on FPS games like Rainbow Six Siege, you lose the sound of where footsteps are coming from. 2.1. So Wes, fair play. I've actually had the opposite suggested, not specifically for the Arctis, but generally speaking, people say you should turn on digital surround so that you can hear where people are better. But yeah, that's why I was asking. And Mac 2.1, okay, fair play. Do you play, like, what type of games do you play with that setup? The other thing is, for me personally, I do have speakers that I use to, like, watch stuff and watch films and YouTube videos, and generally use my PC. But when I'm gaming, I put a headset on, so that I have a way to communicate well, but also so that the audio doesn't come through. Also, because for me personally, I found that gaming with headphones on gives me a lot better directional awareness in FPS games, and so yeah. Zombie Tickler UK, nice name. Best headphones slash set for FPS games on PC. So we're kind of talking about that. It really depends on your budget and personal preferences. For me personally, like I said, I use Corsair Void Pro wireless. These are my personal preference because they are fabric ear cups, which is somewhat rare, but again, my personal preference. They don't have incredibly tight clamping pressure. They're overall just very comfortable for extended gaming sessions. The microphone is decent enough, and decent sound quality, enough that you can hear where stuff is coming in games, hear all your teammates just fine, all that sort of stuff. So That would be my personal preference. I could also suggest SteelSeries Arctis line. I have the Arctis Pros over there, the Pro Wireless. I also have two Plus Game DACs for some reason. And then I've tried all 7, 5, and 3, and they've all been rather nice. So, yeah, generally speaking, thumbs up for either of those. Corsair also do the HS70, which is a wireless headset, but is a leatherette style, and I want to say closed back? No, open back. Can't remember anymore. Either way, those are some good options. Eric's email saying Razer headset's the best. Fair play. My experience with them, in fact, I actually have the Man of War wireless over there. My experience with them are that they're generally relatively cheap feeling for the price. They use a lot of plastics rather than metals, and cheaper feeling plastics as well. And also, so general build quality, and then also comfort is something that I've never had a good experience with personally with a Razer headset. Clearly you have, otherwise you wouldn't be recommending them, so awesome that you have a good shout. But from my personal and subjective experience, I haven't had the best time with them. I was starting to lose people with my Corsair HS30s, much better with the new headphones. What did you replace them with? I can't remember. Oh, yes. So tomorrow's video is a Corsair mouse, actually. And then Mondays is the AMD 3600X video. I've deliberately titled it something that will annoy a lot of people, and it's not clickbait, but it's close enough. Mostly because it's kind of fun to watch the world burn. Not gonna lie. But yeah, it's a really impressive CPU. Highly recommend you check it out when it's out on Monday. Because yeah, it's a very impressive chip, especially for the price. Fair play, Chris, fair play. And I'm sure you're already off, Harry, but fair play, see you in a minute. Not those tight, not exactly games position audio would help out too much from Mac. Yeah, fair play, kind of seems like it. Minecraft 7 Days to Die, it's understandable. Yeah, I play a lot more FPS games, and so the headset can be better for me personally. Confirm Andrew's an anarchist. Yeah. Pretty much. Old Sony Elite with a rumble for the console, G933 on 7.1 on gaming, and Sennheiser Momentum on ear when it's too hot listening to music. Last two backed by Subpack M2 for the bone shaking. Nice. Fair play. Sounds like a pretty good setup. i5 9400F, an RTX 2060, or Ryzen 5 3600 and RX 5700. Well, the short answer there is swap the CPU around and go with the Ryzen with 2060. Because assuming you're gaming, which for my general assumption, I assume you are, then the Intel Nvidia combination will give you significantly better FPS, because the graphics card is much more important than the CPU, generally speaking. So if you can, I don't know what the pricing on those two sets are. I don't know where you are in the world, but how much is 9400F? 130, so 3600 non-X is 99. So that's not much more expensive, right? 140, so £60 more expensive. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure an RX 580 is £140, RTX 2060. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting your maths from here. The 2060 is £200 more expensive than a um RX 580 or 570. Um, so yeah, I would spend the extra £60 and get the Ryzen CPU with the 2060, and you'd have generally the best experience there. And where's the TicWatch? It's here, actually. I'm not very good at wearing watches. This will be like, if I am ever to wear a watch, this will be the one I wear, at least for the moment anyway. But yeah, I'm just not a very good watch wearer. I should probably turn this off. I should probably charge it and then turn it off actually. I ruined a watch by accident by not charging it once. System. I don't like that the power stuff is hidden away so goddamn far. Yeah, I'm just not very good at wearing watches, so I'm not very good at that. In India, CPU prices are really different. Okay, so in that case, then the 9400F and the 2060 will give you a significantly better gaming experience, because the 9400F and the 3600 are probably within 10 to 20% performance of each other. Whereas the 5700 or the RX 570 and the RTX 2060 are probably like 100% performance difference or so. I mean, I suppose that is a good question. Do you mean RX 570 or RX 5700? Because those are different cards. I'm going to assume you mean RX 570 because you mentioned that the prices are so different, but yeah. That is something that's quite hard to take into account when you're reviewing stuff. The different pricing worldwide. I try and have a look, but it can vary quite a lot. So it can be kind of hard to know. And obviously that does change a lot of the synopsis or the conclusions, because a lot of the conclusions are based around price. Like if the Razer Blade Advanced, the Blade 15 2019 Advanced, that's a long name, was like £1,500 instead of 2,200, 2,300, it would be a very different question than going for a it would be a very different review I would have done if it was that price. So yeah, I suppose the other thing is that I just finished writing the script for the RTX Super cards, and I'm sure that you'll all have come to a similar conclusion yourselves from seeing the benchmark numbers anyway. But the long and short of them is that Nvidia says that the pricing is the same, and I would love it to be the same as the non-super cards. It really isn't. I think a 2070 Super is about £100 more expensive than than a standard 2070, and at that price difference, no. I generally play esports titles, CS:GO only. CS:GO is a more CPU bound game, but yeah, super quality seconds, binning like AMD with TR Epic. Yeah, in theory, but Nvidia said that they were the same price, and they're actively discontinuing standard 2070s and 2080s. But their standard 27, the new super cards are about £100 more expensive, for relatively little more performance. And in fact, the 2060 Super is less performant than a standard 2070, but is the same price as a standard 2070, but the 2070 is going away. Yeah, so if you want to go for Navi, uh the new like add-in board partner cards should be pretty interesting. The real question is how many can they ship? That's the biggest problem for AMD on the graphics side. How many cards can they actually ship out the door? Hello, Gaming Fire. How you doing? How's things? Chris, I would probably agree with you. Yeah. They said, or were they going to make, or were they made to change the position? Um, as far as I'm aware, that's the official party line. The 2070 Super and 2070 Super and 2080 Super should be the same price as the standard 2080 and 2070, but they're not. And a 2060 Super, which is the only one that's actually being added to the product lineup instead of replacing, is £100 more than the standard 2060 for very little performance. Um, I'm just sad and hurt that AMD didn't go for a headline act with the CPU. Sad and bitter. What do you mean? GPUs. Yeah, yeah. I think that's the one thing that AMD are quite regularly missing is a card that they can call King of the Hill for even but a moment. Um, I think their biggest problem right now, as a complete outsider and someone who's not completely like I would say that I know a good bit more about CPUs than I do GPUs, but um, from an outsider perspective, it looks like power usage is still a pretty big concern for AMD, and I think while we may see cards probably a while away, but in theory we could see cards that are at least close to being 2080 Ti challengers, even if they are like 3 years late. Um, the biggest concern that they will have is the power usage, because I think if I remember rightly, even the 5700s and 5700 XTs, while they cost less, they still draw more power per FPS, if you like, than their NVIDIA counterparts. Which is actually a lot of that's down to having to completely reinvent the wheel with CPUs. Well, AMD and NVIDIA. With CPUs, AMD and Intel do go very different ways about executing the x86 instruction set and the x86 underscore 64 instruction set. With GPUs, as far as I'm aware anyway, there's no shared patents or there's no shared technology. So the way that AMD goes about doing a GPU compute process is completely different from the way that NVIDIA does it, albeit the end result is somewhat similar. They have a load of cores, although AMD always has way more. And they're sort of general purpose, but they've got different technologies that they use to be able to utilize certain things, and different ways of going about processing a DirectX or a Vulkan pipeline. Whereas, at least on the CPU side of things, there is a very, very similar goal, if you like. Waiting on AMD to release Navi 14 to replace my aging 295X2. NVIDIA don't allow 6 screens, so 6 screens. So AMD it has to be, and Crossfire is no longer possible. Need a high-end GPU to justify upgrading. Yeah, fair play. That's understandable. Be interested to know why do you have 6 displays? Not hating. I've got 3. And I'm sure that I could probably make use of 6. Just interested to know. In India, we pay $867 tax on a £2,900 PC build. That's quite a lot of tax. Ouch. Power is a concern for NVIDIA too. They finally moved off blower cooling to get more cooling for quieter. Yes, true. The other thing is that NVIDIA has changed how they do, or how they are doing, what you call it? Brain's gone blank. NVIDIA is changing what they're doing with their sort of factory cards. Reference cards that used to be blower designs used to basically not be sold at all. And they were just straight up reference designs that they can ship to add-in board partners, and then those add-in board partners can then do what they want. Whereas the new Founders Edition cards, they are cards that they are actively selling directly, sort of cutting out the middleman, if you like, and that means that they are A, profiting more, but B, they're also they also then have to make them more desirable, and the way you make a reference card more desirable is by giving it a better cooler. So it's not necessarily that they must have this to be able to keep the cards cool. I think, at least from my, again, outsider perspective, I would argue that the reason for the change is slightly different. Because I'm pretty sure that the CDP of in fact, I can look it up because I have the internet. $250 maximum. Still only 250 watts. So a 1080 Ti draws roughly the same amount of power as a 2080 Ti, but obviously significantly more performance. And so, yeah, I don't think power is the biggest constraint they've got. And yes, ish. Yes, we do. I thought Crossfire was still a thing. I think it is, at least as far as I'm aware. Like I'm pretty sure that Crossfire. Oh right, okay, for the new cards, right? Yeah. Gotcha. Radeon 7 didn't have it at launch, but they added it. Okay, fair play. So maybe AMD are just sort of testing the waters at the moment, maybe, hopefully. I'm sure that if it was a highly enough requested feature, they could add it. I know that they were talking a lot about multi-GPU right as DirectX 12 started, and the whole, like, because multi-GPU, like, in an NVIDIA SLI kind of configuration is really very, like, a dumb way to do it, because you literally are just doing alternate frame rendering for the vast majority of the cases, and that regularly meant a lot of overlap, like stuttering issues, generally just naff gameplay experiences sometimes, and a lot of games didn't even like support it. It straight up didn't work, and so you'd be sitting at 0% utilization on a graphics card, which sucks, and is why basically everyone always said go and buy a better single GPU, with the idea that you can do, say, partial frame rendering on multiple GPUs. So you could have one GPU do half a frame and another GPU do the other half of the frame, and in theory they wouldn't have to share like their memory space. That would be great, but for the time being, Unless games implement it well, I don't think it'll be an overly popular thing. Apologies. So yeah, what we got? What else we got? I've got a sponsor video coming up, not next week, but the week after, for D-Link. It's a router. They're very, very interested in talking about the like security features of it, which I only just got it today, so I haven't even like set it up or filmed it at all. So I will have to see what that's like, but expect that to be a key part of the video. It'll be Wednesday the 7th, just as a heads up. So it's a mesh router. I can't remember. It's a D-Link EXO mesh, so feel free to look it up. The security stuff is McAfee of sorts. I can't remember what the McAfee brand like product name is off the top of my head right now. Yeah. Who's interested in the AMD 3400G, the APU? Because I have tested that actually now. Yeah. Anyone interested in it? What else have we got as well? We got some interesting speakers from Edifier. They're kind of almost like, I don't really know how you describe them. They're funky shaped and interesting colors. How is it, the 3400G? The 3400G is quite impressive, but also quite underwhelming. As a like home theater, HTPC, media center, kind of office PC, just need a single chip to do it all. It's really impressive. It's about £130, so it is, I suppose, relatively expensive. But for a single thing, it is pretty awesome. In terms of gaming, you're looking at like 1080p low, 720p low. It's not. I know that a lot of people talk about these APUs being like incredible things for budget gaming, but yeah. Does McAfee Element protect you from the bad things on the internet by just stopping you from accessing the internet? I'm not sure, but it's certainly something that I will take a look at. Of course, it will be a sponsored video, and therefore you won't have a significant critique of said video, said product, or software, because at the end of the day, it's essentially just an advertising message, but as a video. I try and make stuff as interesting as possible still, and so I hope that it will still be an interesting video for you to check out, but just thought I'd make that clear. But I haven't tested it yet. Ask me again next week and I'll have an answer for you. Running your PC at 3.99 gigahertz and 0.5 megahertz. Nice. I was gonna ask why you're base clock overclocking, and then I remember that you're running a stupid Xeon, aren't you? Be honest and leave out the bad bits. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Welcome to the internet. Actually, so here's an interesting thing. I see a lot of posts on Reddit about like spoiled influencers, which I'm certainly sure that there's many of them, because it's not all that hard to be an influencer in the grand scheme of things. Like it or not, I am technically an influencer. Again, not that I like the term, or that I wear it at all, but I I think what's interesting in terms of the perspective that I as an influencer have on those sorts of like choosing beggar posts where they talk like they show some messages about how some like Instagrammer with 20,000 followers or whatever asked to, I don't know, stay in a hotel for a night for free for in return for promotion, and how that's delusional and crazy. I think the important thing to like that I take away from a lot of those is that as much as people hate influencer marketing, it does work. And it has a lot of true-ish. It does have a lot of interesting connotations, but the thing is that with small businesses, having influencers, I don't know, have your products or come to your place of business or whatever, if they are the right fit for your business and you think that they can actually drive sales for you, then it's essentially free or incredibly cheap marketing, because what is the cost of one night in a hotel in for however many people coming to your hotel over the next year or 2 years or whatever, when they're on holiday or whatever. So that's something that I see a lot of, and people don't really count that as a factor, which is a kind of funny thing to read. And hello, Joe. How you doing? I think I've lost a stone in sweat this week. Nice quality. I probably have too. Although I've been replacing it with about 15 stone of water because, you know, hydro homies. But yeah, it's been absolutely mad. It was 36 degrees Celsius here earlier today, which is just unbelievable. And literally record highs. And I know that there are people in America and Australia, and I'm sure a few in India too, who are saying 36 degrees, we have that for breakfast. But we're not used to it here. You all have air conditioning. We don't. But the company should agree in advance, otherwise it's not advertising, it's freeloading. Yes, I would agree. The thing that gets me with them is just that there is this general attitude that I see, which is none of these influencers could ever provide me with anything worth value, therefore I will just mock them for having some level of influence. And I think that that's a not like slippery slope, but like it's a bit of a, I guess, closed-minded mindset to have if you're trying to grow your business, which is really the main point. We got 37.5 here at about 1 p.m. I got in the car and I read 59. I jumped out quicker than I got in. Nice. Yeah, no, I didn't get in my car today. My car has an AC leak, which is a small one, but it's definitely a problem. And I need to buy a dye kit and find out where the leak is. I'm pretty sure I know where it is because I replaced both the compressor and the condenser, and it's probably the O-ring seals are on one of those two. But yeah, it's not working, which is not fun. It'd be a good idea to give Casey Neistat a few free first class flights as an ad, but not if he turns up at the gate. Yes, I would totally agree. The things that I've seen are people like influencers reaching out to the businesses, like privately, I might add, prior to them turning up to said thing, or prior to them actually requiring said thing. And then people are like screenshotting those messages and posting them on Reddit as like a haha, look at this delusional idiot. So yeah, that was, I should probably clarify that. Get EK to send you Bucket Supremacy Edition with RGB. Might help keep me cool. I'm guessing you're discussing influencers and what they bring to the industry, etc. Yes. The thing that I was talking about was basically just that I see a general consensus that influencers are just delusional idiots who want to freeload all the time, kind of thing. Which, while I appreciate that I'm not necessarily the type of influencer that would be, say, asking for a hotel room in exchange for some Instagram pictures, not my style. As someone who is technically, and not that I like the term, an influencer, I feel like as an influencer, I have a bit of a different perspective on that. And it seems like quite a common thing, like a common opinion, which can be confusing, I suppose. Mostly because when you check people's profiles, they then are talking about how, I don't know, the Kardashians have, persuaded them to buy something. Same thing. Oh yeah, what else I was testing this week is a gaming projector. If you believe it or not. I know that I've tested one a while ago. This one is actually 120 hertz, which is kind of interesting. Input lag was actually pretty impressive. The only thing with the input lag was that when you set it to 120 hertz, the input lag was exactly double what it was at 60 hertz, which should be the wrong way around. But yeah, no idea. Maybe we should petition Stana or someone to review lifts or wheelchairs, then boost their sales. You're definitely their target demographic. I mean, technically. No, I mean, I think that's probably the main thing, is that like if like big media publication is gonna come and like review their stay in your hotel or something, I don't know, whatever, then fine. Or like travel people who have a fan base who they can show regularly visits the places that they visit, if you think about it that way, then that's fine. It's the same reason that tech companies send me tech products, is that I have a demographic of you lot that like tech stuff, and I talk about it, and then sometimes you buy some of it. And for the price of either shipping sometimes or one product, say some headphones, for example, they get X number of sales back. Wheel Team GB. Indeed. Should I buy 9th gen Intel 9900K or go with 3rd gen Ryzen? So my personal experience is go Ryzen. It's amazing. You get more cores for your money. You get very similar single-threaded performance now, and it looks like some software updates might give you pretty significant performance improvements too. So, yeah. And fair play on the temperatures, Mac. Interesting. And you have the upgrade path of Horizon without having to keep buying a new motherboard every time. True. The only difference is that in theory, the 4th gen Ryzen will probably be the last generation of Ryzen on AM4, from what AMD has said, and then they'll be changing the socket again, in theory. That's pretty much our role. I'm not a fan of the influencer branding, but we certainly get utilized for specific market reach when we get sent things. So in some sense, we are influencers. Yes, I mean, there's a reason why I have a list of Amazon affiliate sales that totals like £300,000 worth of tech every year. Is because I influence people to buy tech, and quite a lot of it actually. So yeah, I agree. I don't like the term, but for all intents and purposes, that's what we are technically. In the same way that like Top Gear was a car influencer show, like Clarkson and May and Hammond are all influencers. Yeah. So has anyone been playing with any interesting tech this week besides me? I've got a lot of stuff this week actually. Got a lot to do. F7 is an influencer, a bad influencer. Oh yes. Hey dude, you chilling like me in London? Got 37 degrees Celsius here. Yeah, no, I'm not chilling. I have an ice pack on my arm. I have a bucket of now warm water on my feet. And as soon as the stream ends, I'm turning that fan back on to full speed and putting it right in front of my face. so the answer there is no, I'm not. Have you thought about doing a video on keeping your gaming room cool on a heat wave? I haven't actually, but I don't really have a good solution to that. Other than like buy an air conditioning unit, which I don't know is, I suppose, really something interesting to see. But if you have any suggestions for how I could do that isn't just buy an air conditioning unit, plug it in, and point it at your face, I'd love to hear it. My Razer Death Adder Elite stopped working a year ago, so which mouse is best and long lasting? Well, I don't know. My SteelSeries Rival 310 has been really good. I personally use a Naga Trinity. I think the Rival 310 would be the closest direct like replacement as an FPS sort of 2-side button mouse. I don't know whether that's just because they're more popular though, so can't tell you. I got the cases sorted out and sent back. Received 11 PSUs to review this week. 3 cases, 2 fan sets, coolers and keyboards. Working on a build for Antec, then Fractal after that. Nice one. I mean, awesome that you're busy. Good luck with everything, man. Kane the Messiah, how you doing? RX 5700 and 5700. My brain doesn't work today. 50. I'm gonna blame the heat. There you go. 5800 and 5900 thoughts. So really, I don't know too much. In fact, I don't know anything that's under NDA, and therefore you probably know more than I do. I'm optimistic. I'm also a little bit worried. We were talking about this earlier, but power usage is certainly something that AMD cards still have a bit of trouble with. And so I will that would be my main concern, is how much power they're going to draw for the performance they give. But I'm more than happy to see like higher end cards available from AMD, ideally ones that do compete with the higher end NVIDIA ones, even if only a very small handful of people will actually buy them. I'd really... Is the 9600K RTX 20 good for gaming and streaming at 720p 60 FPS? So when you're talking about 720p 60 FPS, I would say just use the NVENC encoder, because you're already at relatively low quality there. So generally speaking, I would say use NVENC anyway, or use your graphics card's built-in encoder. It doesn't really cost you any performance, or very little performance, but you get a pretty significant, you still get a very good quality stream out of it. So the short answer is yes, that's a decent combo. Technically speaking, a Ryzen 3600X would be a better shout there, because you get more cores and more threads with very similar, if not the same, single threaded performance, and therefore same in-game performance for potentially less money. I can't remember pricing on the 9600, but yeah. Yes, Joe, so I have a set of Godox was it LED 500 LC, I want to say. I could be wrong. It's a flat panel with 500 LEDs in it. They're very nice. They're very bright. The ones that I have are color adjustable. I would go with the standard ones. The standard probably cool white, because that's generally better for product photography. But go with the standard 500 LED ones, and also pick yourself up a power adapter that works for them, because the ones that come in the box are USA plugs, so obviously won't directly plug into the wall. Fair play, you're being able to stream. I joke about aircon, but I have aircon on my face and it's still too hot to game. Fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of toasty. And as a Scotsman, I am very scared. I think the first thing we're going to do is go replace this ice pack with the frozen one that's in the freezer. Oh. Yeah. Anyone got any last minute tech questions before we disappear? In case I decide to go for i7s, is the 8700K better than the 9700K? So the short answer there is no. I think. Let me double check, because I didn't review the 9700K because I didn't get one. Just the short answer. So the 9700K is 8 cores, 8 threads, whereas the 8700K is 6 cores, 12 threads. You probably find that they're fairly similar performance, but generally having cores over threads is better. So yeah. But again, if you're looking to spend that kind of money, then the 36, 37, or 3800Xs from Ryzen are probably a better shout for you. But yeah. AMD 3rd gen, voltage, and temps, what's going on? So it does say that in my testing and experience, the voltage does tend to jump around quite a lot, but the temperatures have been pretty consistently low. And yes, the voltage does report as pretty damn high in the 1.4 to 1.45 to 1.5 volts, but I think that it might be a bug in a lot of the like reporting softwares. So I think that is the case. I'm not too sure. Also, my experience is, even when I set a fixed voltage in the BIOS for the chip, it still seemed to like manually detune the voltage quite a lot. So yeah. Hello, Luis. How you doing? I'm afraid you joined with 1 minute to go. But yeah, does anyone have any last minute tech questions? We got like about a minute left before I disappear and get a new ice pack and turn that fan on. Exactly-ish. Exactly. All right. No worries. Well then, yeah, I will catch you guys next week. Yeah, stay cool. I hope you survive the still very hot weather, like if you're in Europe anyway. And yeah, have a great time. See you guys.